My price target is negative 86% from Sacrifice. I've said that in the past for Pulsechain, and probably negative 99% for Pulsex.
Sure, why not? Can happen totally. Like I would not disagree with that. Like it's crypto, it can go down 99% tomorrow. Like we do not know what happens. But at the end of the day, because we have amazing developers, we have the very best community with the best engagement already. There's just like little things that we need to tweak here and there in order to make something very, very big happen. Like at any single day, somebody in our community could create a video riding on a skateboard, drinking cranberry juice, going viral, and tomorrow Pulsechain pumps 10,000x. That's totally possible as well. Just like the solar flare scenario that you were pointing out earlier.
Yeah, it is the truth.
But the reason why I brought that up is like Richard Hart twerking and being so negative, even the SEC going after him, I think is no problem at all. I would even somehow make the claim that it's somehow positive because it just brings the eyes over and over again. You have crypto media that are talking about SEC going after Richard Hart. You have other influencers. And then Richard Hart said something very interesting in the beginning of Hex. Like, how else could Hex become the world currency? It has to come from the position of the, how do you say it, of the underdog. And only the underdog then at the end of the day will rise to such fantastic level. People always like to contribute to the underdog in comparison to the guy who is already in the top, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And at the end of the day, I think the narrative in the future will be that all of what we're seeing in crypto is not really DeFi. Even Uniswap canceling Hex, even Ethereum doing all of those things that they're doing, not 100% DeFi, but on Pulsechain, you will be able to do whatever you want and nobody can cancel that. And because of that, I think Richard Hart has hit the correct narrative again. And with his behavior being Trumpish, like Trump-like, I think this just helps the situation even more in the future when it comes to onboarding, because people do not want to buy the boring stuff. They want to buy the exciting stuff with risk and high opportunity. So I think what Richard has been doing in the past and even today is actually overall beneficial. Did Richard Hart do it on purpose to get, the target from the SEC on him? Probably not on purpose, but it is just what it is, and now he has to deal with it. Like we as a community have to deal with it.
Yeah, my bullish case, and I told Funding Jim this the other day. I'm always asking him to, like, how he's talking to his onboards about Hex and Pulsing and whatever else, because I quit doing it. I just quit shilling it to them because I'm tired of this ecosystem and whatever else. But being in the other ecosystems now, I'm starting to see like the boomer aspect of everything over there and how everything is just done pretty much, I don't know, equally as it is here, but it's just different types of ecosystems, and those ones are just becoming like woke-minded and simple-minded and whatever else. And it's kind of like, in my opinion now, Pulsechain to me is a hedge against the rest of the crypto market. So kind of like what Richard used to talk about. He said Hex was supposed to do somewhat good during a bear cycle because of the locking mechanisms and whatever else, but it clearly didn't do that. But I think it can maybe down the road if there's more adoption to it. But definitely if the whole ecosystem in crypto, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana, like Solana is just a bunch of soy boys in my opinion. Ethereum is just a bunch of mega geeks that can't produce code fast enough to keep up with the network. And Bitcoin just has like Peter Schiff and a bunch of degens on ordinals right now. And I really like the space over there. But it's funny listening to like the Bitcoin maxis and how they're talking about like how Peter Schiff is cool and like all this stuff, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, the maxis think Peter Schiff is cool now. Something's changing over here, and this ecosystem is just like a big it's a hedge against the rest of crypto. So, and today is like it's exactly, I guess it's already playing out because the rest of the ecosystem is taking off, and Pulsechain and Hex and everything else is just going down and sideways. So it is a hedge technically. Like if I was to buy anything, I mean I am buying stuff today, but if I was new to crypto, I would tell people to buy whatever is negative right now because everything else is pumping, right? So this ecosystem is the only thing that's negative. So that's probably the best thing to buy right now.
Bro, that is such a good thing that you pointed out, because Bitcoin, because Ethereum and all the other coins already went up a little bit, right, with the recent pumps of Bitcoin, but Hex and Pulsechain did not. Therefore, there theoretically should be more opportunity in Hex and Pulsechain and all of these other coins. Like that makes actually a lot of sense. For me, who is buying crypto all the time, I'm never buying green candles. I only buy and I like coins more once they have dumped and are in the red actually. Then I'm buying. So that's like a really good point that you pointed out there.
Yep, that's my that's like the new thing. Whenever I'm doing onboarding, I'll tell them about the ecosystem just because it's one ecosystem that can do good while everything else is doing bad, but it's also the same ecosystem that does bad while everything else is doing good. So you get the best of both worlds, right?
You were speaking about onboarding and that people that you onboarded, they have a negative experience and now you had to buy back their wallets. So that's why onboarding friends and family, I think it's important. Right? I do it for sure. But I think where the scaling happens is really creating a piece of content, putting it on the internet, and then having people that want to have the information grab it themselves, where you don't put any time in anymore, but the people just get the information. So I think that's like the scaling part. But I think at the end of the day, obviously, word to mouth, or what is it called? Like, from one person to another, explaining crypto is still very important and is
Word of
like
mouth.
highly word of mouth. Yeah, exactly. And it's done very, very well by the Hex community. And that's why I think we have the narratives in our community going on a little bit that this is what we should be doing. This is what I have been doing, for example, in the past with the tour, right? Like I toured across America to talk to people in real life, which is totally not possible to scale at all. And nowadays, my point of view is let's create content on the internet that people take themselves that are interested, which scales them way better. So crazy that you're doing that you're buying back wallets from your onboards. Because I would say to those people, just wait. Because I obviously also have my friends that are saying, man, I'm down 99% when is this going up. And I always tell them, there's nothing you can do. Buy more and wait.
No, I did this. I did this a year ago, like before Pulsechain was even live. I was buying them back because people just like they're just super pissed. Some family members, some actual clients, and whatever else. But yeah, I just like do day one. I'm like every wallet that I have to buy, I'm just dumping it on anything that's price positive. So I sold pretty much as the whole top was going up. Yeah, I was just selling those bags to keep myself in profit.
Yeah, I think that the price leveling out down just below what the biggest sacrificers paid in reality was not a coincidence. I think that it actually going down to the level where it went and then going back up was not a coincidence. I think that markets are made; they're not coincidences. And I think that there's a lot of people that protect floors. So I don't think that we witnessed Pulse Chain go to where it went by accident at all. But we've had max FUD like he's talking about. I mean, you can't really have much worse situation than it's been. Price is recovering. So at some point we'll get clarification on the SEC issue, but until then, there's nothing that you can do except for just sit there and just participate. You can't do anything other than that.
But I would argue that even if the SEC case is going on for the next 10 years, we would still be able to find new all-time highs because the market is not by my grandmother that buys in with $100, but by the market makers that want to speculate on the price going up. And I think like once the narrative hits that Pulsechain is real DeFi and Pulsechain you can do things that you could not do on other places, then it's when we will find new all-time highs in Pulsechain. When can that happen? Obviously, when the entire crypto market is in a positive sentiment, with Bitcoin and Ethereum going to new all-time highs, that's where I see then Pulsechain being, hitting new all-time highs as well. And my point is basically, anything doesn't matter. Nothing matters. This is what I want to. Nothing matters, but the people buying and holding. And who's going to buy and hold? Well, the people that want to speculate. So, like when I went on tour and I did this huge effort, I realized that all of my efforts were basically meaningless. If I would have stayed at home on the beach, the price would have been the same. And it's really like the cycles, the crypto cycles that have to be right, the crypto sentiment that has to be right, the world environment that has to be right, like so many factors in order for a cryptocurrency to find new all-time highs. And I think Richard Hart stop twerking or being humble will not change the situation at all.
You actually think that your tour didn't onboard people like to change the price?
Yes, I 100%. I'm thinking about that topic every single day, because I reflect on what I've been doing in the past. I have been onboarding people for sure, right? Like I've been going to 42 events, always had like 50 to 100 people in the show listening to us. So community building was being done, a little bit of onboarding, but did it scale to thousands of people? No. just making one video on the internet, just one meme that reaches thousands of people is more beneficial than going on a tour for 1 year. Like, this is really what I've learned. Because if you do things on the internet, it will scale. Only then it has the opportunity to scale overall.
Yeah, I hear you. What was your biggest onboard in money terms that came to like one of the meetings?
I would not know, but I have hanged out with billionaires on yachts while we were on the tour.
But did you get them to buy Hex or Pulse or anything?
I would not know.
I think it's important to recognize what projects are building beneficial pieces of the Pulsechain ecosystem. I'm trying to do my part. I'm trying to study Pulsechain, and ultimately I studied Pulsechain and figured out a way to bring a protocol infinite amounts of rewards via these LP pools and putting a tax to them and making it so all the AMA bots are obviously bringing revenue back to the protocol instead of just raking in that profit that they're making 100% for themselves, because these AMA bots are going to do this no matter what. And there was nothing stopping them from ultimately raking in all the profit from arbitraging all these LP pools. So I'm glad to figure out something that I don't know if it's been done in other blockchains, but I believe I'm one of the first people to do it on this blockchain, that we have something special over here, and to not fade on it ultimately, because we're a force to be reckoned with. We have transaction speeds that are fast. We have gas prices that are fair and affordable. So we literally are at pretty much the cheapest you could ever get Pulsechain. Even the person who sacrificed like $1 billion or whatever got Pulsechain just for a little bit cheaper than it is right now. So buying Pulsechain at these levels is like, you aren't going to get better than this, and you're going to wish you got more of it when we're a couple years down the road. And that's why I think it's so important that protocols like PTGC, HOA, and so many more build our LP pools strong with Pulsechain and really establish our feet in the ground as some of the first protocols to build on Pulsechain. Because a year from now, when Pulsechain's at all-time highs and new levels, no one's going to be able to scoop up these prices and start building LPs like we get to right now. And that's super big to recognize, that we are literally grabbing Pulsechain and putting them in LP pools at amazing levels. And how big these LP pools are going to be in 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. Like, it's insane to think about how much money will be in these LP pools when Pulsechain hits a penny. Like, I've done the math for PTGC alone. If we get 5 billion tokens in our V1 pool and we hit 1 penny Pulsechain, there's going to be like over, I think it's between $50 million and $100 million locked in that LP pool, only accessible by PTGC holders. And this same equation, like, it's not only PTGC. Obviously, other protocols have the opportunity to do that too. So I just feel super thankful that I've been given this opportunity to be on Pulsechain at this time. I'm very thankful for RH for building Pulsechain and giving me the opportunity to do so as well. And some people could, I guess, talk badly about how he acts sometimes, but I think overall he's been benevolent. He's only done good for people. He's changed so many lives, and seeing him do stuff like that, strives me to try to do the same for people as well. And on top of that, I hope Pulsechain does that for a ton of people as well also. And I think he has a few tricks up his sleeve. So be patient. I know price don't look too awesome right now, but we're in a good spot. We're at a revolutionary time. I like to imagine it like it's pretty similar to finding Ethereum 6 years ago and being able to build on top of that, or even maybe more 10 years ago. So, and we're just getting started. That's about
Yeah,
it.
I totally agree with you, post TGC. I think from the development side and Pulsechain, everything is going as planned. The ecosystem is getting bigger and bigger. More meme coins or smart contracts or even DeFi products are launching on Pulsechain. Everything is going very good in this point of view. And the community has always been the biggest in crypto, giving the biggest engagement in Twitter and so on and so on. So this is what I'm like seeing as well. Obviously, the situation with the SEC is a big topic in our community. I said earlier, I do not believe that will hinder us from making new all-time highs in the next couple of months or years there to come. I'm very grateful as well to be part of this community. I totally love it, being active every single day, interacting with people, communicating and learning is the most important thing for myself in order to check myself if I have a sound investment thesis, investment strategy. And I think the prices are very low in Pulsechain Hex in all of our coins actually, and it can be very beneficial to buy in those low prices in my point of view. So this is what I've been doing, but I realized more and more since Pulsechain is out that we have the opportunity here to passively earn income. This was always the narrative with Hex, to stake it until you make it stake and then just sell the interest, for example. This is what I've been doing. This is what I've been doing more and more since Pulsechain is out, utilizing all of those different smart contracts that we have, utilizing the different liquidity pools, for example. Is it V2 or V3? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It is passive income that you can generate to then live off or buy more crypto or do whatever you want. And this is exactly what I would like to talk more about in the next couple of months. So thank you so much, Coach, for having me.